Two plates arrive at the table. One is rice, topped with a slice of fish. The other is just slices of fish on their own. Most people would call both of them sushi. And most people would be wrong. Because one of those plates is not sushi at all. It is sashimi, and it follows completely different rules. The strange part is this. The difference between them has almost nothing to do with the fish. By the end of this video, you will never mix these two up again, and you will see why sashimi technically is not even sushi. There is one simple rule that separates them, and it is hiding in plain sight. So let's decode it. Here is that rule right up front. Sushi is defined by rice. Sashimi is defined by the absence of it. Sushi always involves seasoned rice. Sashimi is pure sliced fish or seafood with no rice at all. That one detail is the whole answer. Everything else is just consequences of it. But to really understand why, we have to look at each one properly. Let's start with the simpler of the two. And quickly, before we go deeper, thank you for actually watching this instead of just scrolling past it. Stick around, because the part where sushi and sashimi overlap is where almost everyone gets tripped up. So let's begin with sashimi. Sashimi is, at its core, beautifully simple. It is fresh, raw fish or seafood, sliced and served on its own. There is no rice, no cooking, and no real dressing up, just the ingredient presented at its absolute best. But do not mistake simple for easy. Sashimi is one of the purest tests of skill in all of Japanese cooking. Because when there is nothing to hide behind, everything matters. The quality of the fish has to be flawless. It often starts the moment the fish is caught. The best sashimi fish are killed and chilled with a method called ikejime, which keeps the flesh pristine. Some fish are eaten within hours. Others are deliberately aged for days to deepen their flavor, a craft of its own. And the cut is everything. A sashimi chef trains for years just to slice correctly. The angle of the knife, the pressure, the thickness of each slice, all of it changes the texture in your mouth. A clean, confident cut leaves the surface smooth and glossy. A clumsy one tears the flesh and makes it mushy. There is even a different cut for different fish. Soft fish are sliced thick to give them body, while firm fish are sliced thin so they almost melt. The same piece of fish can feel completely different depending on who sliced it. That is how much the technique matters. A good chef reads the fish and chooses the cut to match it. The knife is doing half the work, without any heat at all. Sashimi is usually eaten with a little soy sauce and sometimes real wasabi, but those are there to support the fish, not to cover it. Drowning sashimi in soy sauce is actually frowned upon. A light touch on one edge is enough, so the fish still leads. The plating matters too. Sashimi is arranged like a small piece of art, often with grated daikon and a clean shiso leaf. And it does not even have to be fish. Sashimi can be octopus, scallop, even beef or chicken in some styles. So already, one myth falls apart. Sashimi is not defined by raw fish. It is defined by being pure, sliced, and served without rice. It is also usually eaten first in a meal, while your palate is still fresh. Delicate white fish before the richer, fattier cuts. That order is not random. It lets each piece taste like itself, instead of being buried by the one before. It is a quiet kind of luxury. Just the sea, a sharp knife, and perfect timing. Quick note before the second half. I have full, separate breakdowns of the rice and the real wasabi behind these dishes. You will find them linked at the end of this video and down in the description. So if one grabs you, you can go straight there next. Now let's talk about sushi, and clear up the biggest myth of all. Most people think sushi means raw fish. It does not. The word sushi actually refers to the rice, specifically rice seasoned with vinegar, sugar, and salt. That seasoned rice is the one ingredient every piece of sushi has in common. The topping can change, but the rice is always there. In fact, the name comes from that sourness. Sushi originally described a way of preserving fish by packing it in fermented rice. The rice was the preservation trick, and at first it was thrown away. Over centuries, the rice itself became the star. The sushi we picture today is actually quite young. Hand-pressed nigiri was invented in Old Tokyo as a kind of fast food. Vendors pressed vinegared rice and a slice of fish in seconds to be eaten on the go. Speed and freshness were the whole point. In a way, the world's most refined raw fish dish began as street food. That history still lives in every quick, perfect bite. This is why the rice is the real craft of sushi. A sushi master, an itamae, trains for years before being trusted with it. Its temperature, its seasoning, its texture, and even how loosely it is pressed all matter as much as the fish on top. The rice is even served close to body temperature, not cold. That gentle warmth against the cool fish is part of the experience. Get the rice wrong, and the finest fish in the world cannot save the peace. The rice is the foundation everything sits on. And sushi comes in many shapes. Nigiri is a slice of fish over a small bed of rice. Maki is the rolled kind, wrapped in nori seaweed. Gunkan wraps the rice in a band of seaweed to cradle soft toppings. Temaki is a hand-rolled cone, and chirashi is simply the toppings scattered over a bowl of the same rice. There are many more, but every single one is built on that seasoned rice. In good nigiri, the chef even tucks a dab of wasabi between the rice and the fish. Nothing on that little mound is there by accident. So here is where the confusion finally makes sense. A slice of raw salmon on its own is sashimi. Put that exact same slice on a small mound of seasoned rice, and now it is nigiri sushi. Same fish, different dish. The fish did not change anything, the rice did. And it works the other way too. A roll of just cucumber and rice is still sushi because the rice is there. Sweet egg, cooked shrimp, even avocado can top sushi. None of it is raw fish, and all of it is still sushi. That is why a California roll counts as sushi, even with no raw fish at all. The rice is doing the defining, not the salmon. But here's what most people miss. The real difference was never raw versus cooked, or fish versus no fish. The real difference is rice versus no rice. That is the entire line between the two. Sushi is a rice dish, where the topping is just one part of the whole. Sashimi is a slicing craft, where the ingredient stands completely alone. One is about composition and balance. The other is about purity and precision. This is also why you cannot really make vegetarian sashimi in the classic sense. But vegetarian sushi is easy. The rice makes sushi flexible, and the missing rice makes sashimi strict. That is also why sashimi feels like the older, more elemental idea. It is just you and the ingredient, with nowhere to hide. And sushi is the clever invention on top, a way to turn humble rice into something worth traveling for. So once you see it, ordering becomes easy. If you want to taste the fish at its purest, order sashimi. If you want that balance of fish, rice, and seasoning in one bite, order sushi. Neither is better. They are answering different questions. And if you are new to all of this, sashimi is the easier place to start. One clean flavor at a time, with nothing to decode. So here is your takeaway. Sushi is defined by its seasoned rice. Sashimi is defined by going without it. It was never really about the raw fish. It was about the rice the whole time. Strip away the rice, and sushi simply stops being sushi. That is how central that one humble grain really is. Now, I would genuinely love to know, are you team sushi or team sashimi? Tell me in the comments which one you would order tonight. And here is the one moment I will actually ask. If this finally cleared up the difference for you, leave a like, it really helps the channel grow. And subscribe if you want more of Japanese food decoded, one dish at a time. To go deeper right now, the video on the left breaks down sushi rice, the real heart of every piece. And on the right, you can decode miso, another pillar of Japanese flavor. See you in the next one!